Good afternoon, collectors, and welcome to Trading Card Therapy, episode number 29. We are on the verge of our New Year holiday here in the United States, as well as across the world. It is celebrated differently everywhere. I personally am looking forward to spending New Year's with my son Crosby in Disney World. As you can see, I can't even think straight. My son was skipping in Walgreens this morning. He doesn't ever skip in Walgreens. That's how happy he is. So I hope to each and every one of you that you have a happy and healthy New Year. Most importantly, you're going to be able to spending it with your family, your friends, your loved ones, and you get to do something fun, even if it's just something like sitting on the couch and watching some football. So for today's show, we have a few things we're covering. I know several of you wrote to me, whether it be through DMs on Instagram, through emails, either nominating other folks or yourselves to win the $250 spending spree. We're actually giving away 2 of those today, courtesy of Vintage Breaks right here. Just Collect, Trading Card Therapy, our friend Jason at Otia Sports. And of course, we hope that if you win, you get something that you love. And we, hope that you share it with us. We'd love to see what you pick out. A few other topics as well. I know everyone is really, really excited about the new year for one reason or another. One of the things that I wanted to talk about to start today's show was, hobby goals. It may sound kind of boring, right? It might almost sound like a school assignment as far as like, hey, are you giving out homework today? But no, what I'm talking about is just try to figure out what you're going to do with your collection. Meaning, would you like to try to go after a grail? Do you want to just simply clean up? Do you have too many cards in your collection and you're not even worried about what you're going to acquire? You're just trying to, sell off the dupes, trim the fat, and have a collection that you can, not keep in the drawer, not have to have it hidden away. And so you can enjoy it, as opposed to, having, and I think graded sets are awesome, but I think they become voluminous and they become a little bit cumbersome. And so I would say for me, I consider myself to be a little bit more of a type collector. And I'm curious what you folks out there are. So drop a comment in the chat today, or if you're watching this video afterwards, please let me know what you think you are. Are you a type collector? Are you a set collector? Are you exclusively a rookie card collector? To be fair, you're a team collector, and you're only going after your respective teams in each sport. I know other folks, they're only college collectors. They collect college football and basketball, and they love the immaculate line from Panini that has to deal with all the college products. So for me and my goals, hobby-wise in 2023 for Just Collect, hope to find, something that has either never been found before as a treasure hunter or, just simply like a huge unopened find would be awesome. Doesn't have to be something that's never been found before, but I would take vintage cards unopened, or like I said, anything just really interesting, like a cool photograph that's really important, maybe like the earliest known Shoeless Joe Jackson photo. Curious what you all would be hoping for in 2023 as far as a big find. And as far as business goes, we are very excited to be working on our store here at Just Collect Vintage Breaks headquarters in Millburn, New Jersey. You can find us at 296 Millburn Ave in Millburn, just a couple hundred feet up from the world famous Millburn Deli. If you've not been there before, I personally recommend the Godfather or the Gobbler, but figure it out for yourself. It's an unbelievable deli experience. Okay, so that is a few of my hobby goals. And, the last one is to produce content that I'm passionate about. I don't believe in just producing content for the sake of doing it. I believe doing it because you enjoy doing it. And so that's what I'm doing here with Trading Card Therapy. We try to keep it loose and down to earth and easy going. So if you'd like to see something discussed here on Trading Card Therapy in 2023, drop a note in the comments or send me a DM. I'll read all of them, and I'd love to discuss something that's important to you, because if it's important to you, it's likely important to someone else in the hobby. I like that. Someone from Facebook writes in, I need plenty of therapy. Happy and healthy 2023 to all. Well, I appreciate you tuning in. Next up on my short list to hey, what's up, Mike? To talk about on today's 29th episode is about your hobby circle and networking and how to improve your knowledge and your hobby experience. And so, for example, I am not a soccer card expert. I don't really know that much about soccer, the game itself, or its history. Certainly, I can Google like any of you out there. But, I have friends like Chris and others that are avid soccer fans. And even if they don't know, my buddy Greg and Craig, even if they don't know soccer cards, they do usually know a little bit more about the up and coming prospects, all-time greats. And I always like to hear just from a real avid, authentic fan's perspective, hey, if you had to give me your Mount Rushmore of soccer, who would it be? I know Pele, but not many people know beyond that, other than the Messis of today and Ronaldo and things like that. But there's a big time period in between. What's up, Nick? Thanks again for coming by our store yesterday. Heard it was a good old time. It was a bummer I wasn't here, but it was with my son. And as I said, we're preparing for the big trip. So another thing that networking does for you in the hobby, beyond expanding your own hobby knowledge, is let's say you go out there and you buy a collection that, is 10% non-sports, or it's 10% racing cards. And you're like, you know what? I like racing. I don't know if I'm ever going to run into racing cards. And lo and behold, you run into them. But it's going to be too hard or difficult or strenuous, or just, maybe you don't feel that confident of your ability to use sites like eBay, Terapeak, and Card Ladder for card pricing. But either way, you want to make sure that if you are able to network and improve the quality, not the quantity necessarily, but the quality of the knowledge in the circle of folks that you associate with in the hobby, you're going to have a better experience. You might make a few dollars more. You might be able to off some cards that you got in a deal for some things that you really care about, or maybe someone would just give you a tip. I know this is a shout out to my buddy Chris Gilmore. He's given me some tips along the way about buying some of these Topps Now soccer rookies, including Pedri, and made a bunch of money on those. And even if you don't use that money to pay for your kids' college, but you're able to take, let's say, $500, and put it away a little bit closer towards your goal of that Grail card that you're going for, or for that matter, you're going on a trip. Like I'm going with my son. Believe me, it's not cheap. Someone joked with me and said, "Hey man, you must be rich. You're going to Disney." I'm like, listen, I was just bragging to my team here at Just Collecting Vintage Breaks about how I found at Trader Joe's an unbelievable deal for lunch or dinner. They have these stuffed turkey peppers. They're $7. They're healthy. I can't order food anywhere. I can't even buy food in the supermarket for $7 and eat a meal. So I thought it was a great deal. Once again, that money you're saving, going toward the trip, going towards that Grail card, or maybe you're going to be saving up for next year's National Sports Collectors Convention in Chicago. Let me tell you, they do the best they can to accommodate. The hotels add up, the food adds up. So wherever you can, you try to find an edge and utilize your network, even if it's just for fun. Get together once a month. Got to have a couple burgers and, talk about your experiences at conventions or bidding in auctions and stuff. I see a couple other folks here jumping in. Appreciate you participating very much. So that's kind of my, my quick 2 cents on your hobby circle and what you can do to help yourself in 2023 to help your experience in all facets of collecting. What's up, James? I got to remind me, I had his Tito 6 card for James. James, appreciate you tuning in. I will put a note on my phone after this. Make sure you tune in. Not next week. We will be off next week for Leighton's Loft, which you can find every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. with my buddy Lou. However, next Thursday, Trading Card Therapy, we will be back, as I'll be back in town. And James, tune in then for your Tito 6 that you won from the $100 shopping spree from Leighton's Loft. So that's what I had to say about networking and improving your hobby circle. I'm going to save my last topic to cover because I know some of you are excited to learn who has won the prizes, the $250, and I'm pulling up because I want to show you folks on Instagram. I want to show you a little bit of information in just a minute. And so once again, we're about to give away $500 in a shopping spree, which I think is super cool because you can spend the money wherever you like. You can spend the money with Vintage Break, spend the money with Just Collect, spend the money with PSA if you'd like on grading fees. We're not offended. Spend the money at Blowout Cards, spend the money at David Adams, Steve Hart, any of the other wonderful baseball card retailers in our industry. Excuse me for 1 second. So the first winner of the $250 spending spree, courtesy of Just Collect, Vintage Breaks, and Otia Sports, is someone that was nominated by a fellow Breakomaniac. And he was nominated twice. One of the people that nominated him is in the chat. And I was pretty sure he would win after seeing the first nomination, and he wrote a lot about it. But after seeing the second one, and I've also seen the way he interacts with our community, both during our shows as well as in our Vintage Breaks buy-sell trade group on Facebook. It's a wonderfully tight-knit community. You can trust the folks you're dealing with, especially the ones that have been around, for a while, and they're Breakomaniacs or even a couple of years in some instances. And is none other than he's affectionately known as Double E. His name is Eddie. I won't give out his last name, but you can imagine his last name starts with E, which is why we call him Double E. And so we are proud to announce he's the first winner. And he is the first winner because he was the only one nominated, believe it or not, by someone twice. And I don't think they conspired, if I had to guess. Eddie is that sweet of a guy. You can see it in his posts. He's also a father like myself. He's a family man. And I don't know if he's tuned in today, but I'll message him after this, J5. You could message him as well. Hope all is well with you and your family, Eddie. And I'm looking forward to collaborating and partaking in what you spend your money on. What I know about Eddie in terms of collecting interests, it's kind of all over the board, meaning he's similar to me. He loves autograph cards. He loves vintage. He loves modern. He's a set collector. I think he's working on 54 Tops right now, so maybe I can help him with that. I think I can, Eddie. And so it's really fun to be able to help someone like that who's given back so much to our actual community, to be able to spend that money anywhere you'd like on the internet, or to be fair to Card Show, Eddie, you let us know. We'll make it sure it happens for you. But congratulations to Eddie Double E. Now, the next winner, we're going to wait a minute to announce, okay? But before we do, I kind of have a runner-up. And we didn't have this planned. But there was a dad that reached out to me about his son, and it pulled at my heartstrings. As you can see, I got choked up for a second because I'm a big softie. His son has had COVID. He's got a young son. Brandon Miller's son, Brett, is a young boy who's had COVID now for the third time. And as he's saying in an email, it's a difficult time for him because it's a tough time of year between holidays and your friends having off. And I really felt for him. So even though he finished on the outside looking in, we are going to give him an honorary $100 runner-up spending spree. Once again, Brandon, please contact me via email, or I have your email. I'll shoot you a message. I'm excited to see where you and Brett spend the money. I hope it brings a smile to at least Brett's day today. And I hope moving forward that you're part of the Vintage Breaks family. At the very least, you'll forever be in our hearts. And I hope that you get well soon and that you enjoy the spending spree. All right. So the last spending spree that we're giving away, and then we'll cover one more topic for today. So I do not know this individual personally. We are friends on Instagram, but when I say friends, I use that term, we've not met, but I have followed him and I have followed his story. He's a survivor. It seems like he's had a tough road. And so Mason Ferrulli, who has a number of followers on Instagram, and I followed him, like I said, for a while. He's always getting wonderful gift packages, and I think it's awesome to get gifts. But there's nothing more than having a little kid feel like a little kid. And so I thought by giving him some money, $250 as a second winner, he could spend that with his parents. He could spend that by himself, maybe looking online if he's not able to go physically to a show or a store. So if you're not sure who Mason is, I'm going to show you his Instagram account. I don't know if they can see that so well, John. No. All right. Well, I'll spell his name for you on Instagram so you can give him a follow and support him. I'll just explain to you what his Instagram account is. It's Mason Ferrulli, Ferrulli 23. He's had a few different types of cancer, and he's got a constant battle that he's enduring. And something that I try to teach my son Crosby when we go to CHOP is, not everyone always walks out smiling with a lollipop or skipping. So, sorry, I'm trying to collect myself here. But anyway, congratulations to Mason. We did ask him to tune in today if he was available. And if not, we'll make sure that we reach out to you. We're certainly curious here at the Vintage Breaks community and the Just Collect community. And to be fair, the collecting world, we'd love to see what you personally select, as it would mean a lot to us to understand what makes you happy. So Mason, happy holidays to you. Happy New Year. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to discuss was, and this is probably, not just hobby advice, but don't worry about what others are doing. Your buddy's got the Patrick Mahomes #1 registry and you got the number 19. You're not any less of a person, okay? You got someone else who's got front row tickets to a concert and you are at best going to listen to it on Apple or iTunes. You're not any less of a person. But I can tell you this, if you spend your life in the hobby world collecting and comparing yourself and your collection to every other person who collects, you're never going to be happy, probably rather unfulfilled. But if you find true joy in what you do in your collecting journey, to be fair, I guess in life, and you don't care about what other people think, some amazing things will start to happen for you, both in your collecting world and in your personal journey. And I would imagine all of that, magic together is probably going to be a wonderful potion for you moving forward in 2023. And so on that note, I'm wishing each and every one of you a happy and healthy New Year. I'm looking forward to seeing you all, and hopefully many of your friends. Please tell them to like and subscribe our Trading Card Therapy channel. This is the Doctor signing off for 2022 Trading Card Therapy, episode number 29. Love you, gang. Take it easy.